Tonight on 7 News, motorway madness. A faulty fan in the M5 tunnel puts the wind up Sydney drivers, thousands left stranded.
Breaking now, a house ablaze at Greenacre, the desperate fight to save what they can.
Grenades found stashed metres from a daycare centre near Liverpool. Sydney's underworld out of control.
A shock fall in inflation could put the brakes on rising interest rates. Good news at last.
Shaken to the core, 13 dead, parts of Japan flattened by a savage earthquake.
Blink and you'll miss him, the Flash, Lockie Kennedy breaking records at the Commonwealth Games.
And Adam Dewey finally comes clean on the turmoil he triggered at the Tigers, but he loves the club like family.
Live from Sydney, this is 7 News with Mark Ferguson and Angela Cox.
Good evening. Sydney's recurring nightmare has struck again with another shocker on our roads. A dodgy bracket in the M5 tunnel near the airport has caused chaos, bringing traffic to a standstill across much of the city.
There were fears a massive fan could come crashing down onto cars, forcing thousands of angry and frustrated drivers to find another way.
The morning commute and motorists losing their cool.
M5 has been nobbled. If you can, give the M5 a miss.
A loose fan in the toll tunnel slamming shut the city-bound motorway, closed between King George's Road and Marsh Street, but the knock-on effect stretching 13 kilometres to Milperra. Transport officials warning,
if you don't have to travel this morning in that area, try and avoid travel.
Crews discovered the faulty fan bracket during overnight maintenance. At 4:16am, the decision was made to keep the tunnel closed. The Transport Minister notified by text at 4:42. Traffic diverted for another 7 hours. The tunnel reopened at 11:30.
The fan effectively wasn't secured to the ceiling as securely as we would have liked.
The Premier saying what every motorist was thinking.
Obviously it's not good enough, it shouldn't happen.
With 10,000 vehicles expected to travel through the tunnel during the morning peak hour, a decision was made right here to take no chances, even if it meant inflicting pain on Sydney drivers.
We always take safety as our first priority and we had to do that important work.
Traffic tonight, so far so good. Clementine Cuneo, 7 News.
Hand grenades and military-grade assault rifles metres from a daycare centre where kids were playing. That's what police discovered when they raided a suspected organised crime safe house near Liverpool, leaving a quiet community in shock.
Hand grenades wrapped in tape, stuffed in a suitcase inside a suburban townhouse. These are the weapons of war found yesterday, allegedly in the bedroom of this couple's Glenfield home. The neighbours on one side, a young family, the other, a daycare centre.
They're exceptionally dangerous weapons. If they were to be set off altogether, I imagine they would probably almost demolish the building.
It's quite scary because we do have a childcare centre right next to us. We're all pretty close, it's a bunch of townhouses here.
The cache of grenades, assault rifles, shotguns, a handgun and ammunition was discovered during raids by Strikeforce Falcon. Also,
a kilo of heroin, 5.8 kilos of cocaine, 1 kilo of ketamine, 15 kilos of cannabis, a kilo of methamphetamine, MDMA and 3 kilos of lidocaine.
26-year-old Onel Esho was refused bail on 27 charges. Police allege his home was used as a safe house, servicing multiple organised crime groups.
These people are contract criminals. They will supply their services to others who are engaged in serious and organised crime.
The police bomb squad and even the army were called out to render those explosives safe. The family who share a wall with this townhouse were evacuated while that took place. But others who live nearby say they only found out about the potential danger this morning.
It's very disappointed, scary as well. It's not safe.
Andrew Denny, 7 News.
There should be no more interest rate hikes this year, according to the big banks, following surprise inflation results today. The headline figure coming in softer than expected, back below 4%. While borrowers may be breathing a sigh of relief for now, the federal government warns we're not in the clear.
In a time of financial worry, wars and warnings, finally, some good news.
Much better news than anticipated, yeah.
All the major banks now predicting there'll be no interest rate rise next month and possibly no further rises this year.
Any interest rate change is going to help me if it's going down.
That hope fuelled by better than expected inflation figures for June, the headline rate falling to 3.8%, the underlying figure steady at 3.6%. The Treasurer calling that encouraging.
These are welcome numbers in the circumstances, but we know that we still have an inflation challenge in our economy.
The biggest rises in the past year, electricity up 22.4%, new homes 5.8% and rents 3.6%, while petrol fell 10.9% in June, thanks largely to the fuel excise cut, which the Treasurer made clear will not be extended.
That fuel excise relief will end midnight on Sunday.
Today's result was enough for Westpac to abandon its previous prediction of 2 more rate rises this year, now predicting none. And so is the ANZ.
Our base case still remains that the RBA cash rate is going to stay on hold at 4.35% until the second half of next year.
The greatest unknown, oil prices.
The longer this war drags out, the harsher the consequences.
The opposition claims the biggest pressure bearing down on the RBA governor is government spending.
The government has consistently played a game of interest rate chicken with Michelle Bullock.
The RBA's next meeting is in 2 weeks' time. Just a day after Michelle Bullock warned the RBA would pull the trigger on more rate rises if needed, analysts say these figures prove it isn't. But the fight against inflation is far from over. Prices are expected to remain high for some time yet, particularly as Donald Trump continues his bombing of Iran. The government says the sooner that war's over, the better. And Australian motorists who are getting pumped at the Bowser would agree.
Indeed. Mark Riley in Canberra, thank you. Lies and smear campaigns. It's been another bombshell day of evidence at the ICAC investigation into the Liberal Party.
State political reporter Taylor Aiken is live. Taylor, what happened?
Well, the ICAC has long had a reputation of exposing dirty tactics, and today was just yet another example. Driven by personal hatred, one inner faction of the Liberal Party spent months compiling a dirt file on their own colleague, former Police Minister David Elliott, and it quickly got personal. A secret Liberal factional battle caught playing dirty.
There's a reference to an allegation of Mr Elliott having an affair.
Yes.
The ICAC exposing a war being waged by a group of so-called right-wing reformers wanting to destroy political careers. The inquiry uncovering a dirt file compiled on David Elliott, claiming they had evidence of the Hillshire MP having an extramarital affair while his wife was being treated for cancer.
I was never shown any photographs or seen it. They just told me that they had photographs and then it was that he was done.
I suggest to you that no such affair occurred.
I would accept that.
Also denied by Elliott himself. I reject all the accusations. I'm a devoted husband of 30 years to a beautiful woman. The factional enemies even white-handing their own Liberal government, attempting to weaponise a secret recording of Building Commissioner David Chandler, falsely claiming the video showed
the fact that he was a racist and that he needed to go.
That he needed to go. Mr Chandler needed to go.
Yes.
Minister Eleni Patinos then launched an investigation and Mr Chandler later resigned. Despite being a state-based inquiry, the impact of the ICAC's complex web is extending beyond political lines, with federal Liberal leader Angus Taylor forced to front up and issue this emphatic denial.
No payment was made, but no payment was made. I said that no payment was made.
Taylor Aiken, 7 News.
Blues Origin coach Laurie Daly has played down concerns about his health, saying it's perfect. Addressing the issue on his morning radio show, Daly said he'd make a formal announcement about his future as New South Wales coach in the coming days.
Everything is going great, feel great, so in terms of my health, it's perfect.
The 56-year-old revealed during the Blues winning Origin series that he'd quit alcohol.
Lachlan Kennedy has done what no Australian has been able to do in more than 60 years.
The sprinter won Commonwealth Games silver in the 100-metre dash and in the process became Australia's fastest man ever. Let's go live to Mel McLaughlin in Glasgow. Mel, what a way to break the 100 metres medal drought.
Oh, good evening, guys. It was an absolutely epic night. We are still buzzing. Lockie Kennedy, he smashed the Australian record, clocking a blistering 9.85 seconds in the final here at Scotstoun Stadium. He missed out on goal by just 2/100ths of a second and incredibly did it all in the pouring rain. But he wasn't the only Aussie track star to make history here last night.
Rain clouds above, but on the track, Lockie Kennedy brought the lightning.
Off they go.
The 22-year-old Queenslander running like never before.
He's in the mix. It's Lockie Kennedy in the shade. Kennedy. Oh, SME got him on the line, I think. It is oh so close.
100 metres in 9.85 seconds, the fastest Australian of all time. A silver medal in Glasgow, but a place in the history books back home.
Well done, mate.
Oh. Holy shit. Oh, I can't swear, I'm sorry.
Wow.
Not since 1982 has there been two Aussies in the Commonwealth Games 100 metres final.
I thought I won. Old mate must have come flying through on the inside.
Eddie Nketiah, a rival, was no match in this race.
9.85 is like crazy. That's like nuts. I didn't realise other guys were in that well of form.
Patrick Johnson set the national record in 2003, 9.93 seconds. For 23 years, it was unbroken.
Sky's the limit, you know. That definitely wasn't a perfect race. I know I got so much more in the tank, but I mean, for now I'm going to celebrate.
First with family.
It is one of the highlights of my life.
We all knew he had this race in him. You had it in. You know you had it in you.
Of course, I knew I had it in me.
He worked so hard. We're proud of him.
Then soaking up the moment with friends who have silverware of their own.
And this, the unforgettable moment in the aftermath. Our two new national record holders celebrating at Scotstoun Arena with all their family and friends around them, both in amazement of each other.
It wasn't long before athletics great Matt Shervington was on the phone.
Mate, congratulations. How does it feel? Like, what is that underlying feeling of being the national record holder, the fastest ever that has ever run onto a track by Australia?
I mean, it's an honour. I can't lie. It's just it's what I trained for, you know.
With Lockie comes another great, Tori Lewis, our fastest ever female.
Tori's in the mix, very much in the mix. Hobbs has won it.
100 metres in 10.99 seconds.
In the next few years I'll improve, but right now it's perfect.
The previous record holder, herself, from the semi-final 2 hours earlier.
Australian sprinting has never had a night like this.
Bruce isn't wrong. It was a spectacular night. Earlier, Kai Robinson became the first Australian man to win gold in the 10,000 metres since 1958.
I was grinning from ear to ear for parts of it just because it was like a couple of guys go to the front and then slow it down immediately.
If all that wasn't enough, our star high jumpers claimed gold and silver. Eleanor Patterson quit the sport, then returned. This, her full circle moment after winning gold here 12 years ago.
Far up she goes, and she goes clear.
Nicola Olaslagers finishing in second. Even by Scottish standards, it rained torrentially all night long, but nothing could dampen one of the greatest nights in Australian athletics history. In Glasgow, Xander Maguire, 7 News.
Yeah, it was certainly very wet and indeed no rest for the wicked Lockie Kennedy. He's due back here at the track soon for the heats at the 200 metres. His medal ceremony for the silver also coming up, plus our Aussie stars headlined by Cam Myers in the men's mile. But now to Tom Saker at the swimming centre. Good morning, Tom. The Dolphins, they have one more golden night in their sights.
Yeah, we certainly do, Mel. And if Kyle Chalmers can win the 50 metres butterfly, he'll join an elite list of Aussies on 10 Commonwealth Games gold medals alongside Petria Thomas, Susie O'Neill and Ian Thorpe. It's also Shayna Jack's last lap in the green and gold tonight in the 50 metres freestyle. Last night, another rush of gold and a star on the rise. Flying Flynn Southam. He is a name to remember. Pool and track from both ends of Glasgow, all eyes on the 100 metres. The blue ribbon events happening at the same time. As Lockie Kennedy stormed into the final, Flynn Southam was halfway home in front of the Olympic champion. The famous charm offensive, Kyle's last 15 metres, no match. in Lake Flynn.
Flynn Southam takes gold from Chalmers.
Australia meet the next big thing.
4 years ago, like you said, I was a little boy and now I'm a man and I belong here.
Chalmers has belonged for a while.
I'm super proud of the longevity I've been able to have in my sport.
He has another crack at gold tomorrow, qualifying equal fastest for the 50 butterfly with Ben Armbruster. Cam McAvoy, third fastest.
Tonight was the first time I've stood on the podium with another Australian.
Lani Pallister eclipsing Ariane Titmus's Commonwealth Games record in the 800 metres freestyle.
And there she goes and claims gold again.
Coming away with 4 gold medals and a little photo memento from my 1500 from one of the photographers is awesome.
Jenna Forrester is making a habit of winning and keeping us on the edge of our seats.
Of course, Forrester gets over the top. That is what she does. Jenna Forrester, heart of a lion.
While 18-year-old Philip Nowacki from Jersey, population 100,000, made history, winning his country's first ever medal in the pool, a gold one.
The teenager from Jersey has done what no swimmer from that country has been able to do in the pool before.
Unfortunately, we don't have a 50-metre pool. The island's very small. It's only 9 miles long and 5 miles tall, so, a 50-metre pool is quite big.
Before Australia added to its huge tally, Kiralee Hayes, gold in the 50 freestyle S13. You might be wondering how Australia's massive pot of gold compares with other Commonwealth Games performances. We're doing our level best. To equal the record of 28 golds on the Gold Coast in 2018, Australia would need to win the mixed medley relay. Men against women, women against men. Matt Temple hunting down the field.
Matt is holding his own.
Meg Harris, a golden anchor.
Australia will equal the Commonwealth Games record of 28 gold in the pool. Meg Harris has done it.
Lifting Australia to its best Commonwealth Games pool performance with 1 day to go. In Glasgow, Tom Saker, 7 News.
So heading into day 6, Australia with 80 medals, 35 of them gold. Canada's 13 gold has them ahead of England, Scotland in 4th, Nigeria 5th. And I'll be back later in sport with all the latest on the West Tigers as star Adam Dewey finally sets the record straight. Of course, more from the Games as well.
Look forward to it. Thanks, Mel. Time to check today's weather now with Angie Asimus. And Angie, it was chilly out in that wind.
Certainly was, Ange. Lovely sunshine today, but when the winds picked up, they certainly had a bite. The top in the city centre was 19 degrees, while it felt like 10 degrees at the time. A cold front crossed the state's southeast last night. That's the reason why. It left behind showers and snowfalls at higher elevations, as well as some bitterly cold temperatures. -6 this morning at Thredbo and a low of 0 at Bathurst. Here are the top wind gusts today. 82 kilometres per hour at Katoomba. That's a strong gale. 69 k's at Bellambi gale force and 61 kilometres at the airport near gale force. The atmosphere will dry rapidly tomorrow. Barely any rainfall or snow expected across New South Wales. Will take a little longer to warm up though. Details on some very chilly mornings on the way coming up soon. Mark and Ange.
OK, thank you, Angie. Next, Greenacre fire emergency happening right now. A blaze tears through a home. Neighbours at risk. We're live on the scene.
A young man stabbed to death on a Central Coast street. His alleged killer, a 15-year-old boy.
A shopping centre explodes as earthquake mayhem rocks Japan.
Toys big and small. Your first look inside the Sydney Boat Show.
A rare and magical moment captured off our coast.
And we say goodbye to an Aussie banking icon and a good friend of our 7 News family. Welcome back to breaking news now, and fire crews are on the scene of a devastating house fire at Greenacre. Nick Overall is there for us. Nick, the home has been destroyed.
That's right, Mark. The blaze has ripped through the property here on Chiswick Road. Emergency crews still have the area locked down. The blaze ignited just before 4:30 this afternoon. Flames and smoke were seen pouring from the roof of the home as neighbours rushed to safety. Fortunately, though, nobody was inside the property at the time, and there are no reports of any injuries. At this stage, it is unclear how the fire started. Crews now working to determine just how a family has lost their home.
OK, Nick Overall in Greenacre, thank you. The hunt is on tonight for a 15-year-old boy accused of killing a man on the Central Coast. The 22-year-old was stabbed outside restaurants on the main street of Gosford after stepping off a bus.
In the middle of Gosford's main street, paramedics and members of the public try to save a young man's life. 22-year-old Zane Robson's injuries, hard for them to comprehend. Stabbed multiple times only minutes earlier.
He was just lying down, unconscious, It was scary for all of us.
It happened at 7:30 after Zane got off a bus on Man Street. Police say a fight broke out with a boy he knows. The wounds to his chest, too severe.
The 22-year-old was conveyed to Gosford Hospital where sadly he was pronounced deceased.
Detectives now on the hunt for a 15-year-old and searching for a 15-centimetre knife.
Police are still trying to determine exactly what happened in the lead up to this shocking attack. They believe both the victim and the person with the knife were on the same bus which pulled up here just minutes earlier. They had boarded separately.
This is an incident which we believe the parties were known to each other.
Zane's family hoping to cover the funeral costs through an online fundraiser, today saying no one is ever prepared for a loss like this, and they are unimaginably heartbroken. Loved ones left to bear the burden. Nick Overall, 7 News.
13 people have died and many more are still missing after a powerful earthquake rocked southern Japan. The 7.1 magnitude quake was centred on Kyushu Island. Ground zero tonight is the city of Kumamoto and what's left of a shopping centre.
Japan's Prime Minister says it's a race against time to find more survivors.
First came the violent shaking. Screams of fear too. As supermarket shelves came down. Then here, an explosion, feared to be a gas blast at a shopping centre. Not everyone got out of this. Tonight, people are still missing. 8 have been rescued. Soldiers brought in to help with the search. It hit late in the afternoon. A country that has rebuilt itself to handle earthquakes. A population well drilled, knowing how to take cover inside a local department store. But not everything could handle the quake and the more than 60 aftershocks. The walls at the 400-year-old Kumamoto castle crumbled. The tourist hotspot was still being repaired after a 2016 earthquake. A Shinto shrine, Yatsushiro, also destroyed. As buildings collapsed, others burned. 7 workers missing too at a paper factory. 2 died. Roads and bridges across Japan's southern island are damaged. The train network halted. Tonight, as the search goes on and the cleanup begins, Japan is bracing for more aftershocks. Hugh Whitfield, 7 News.
Bill Evans, Westpac's legendary chief economist, has passed away. For more than 3 decades, he was one of the country's most respected and influential economists. He was often seen on Seven's daytime news programs providing market updates. In a statement, his family said he will be remembered as a kind and thoughtful man who was at the centre of every conversation. Bill passed away yesterday on his 76th birthday after a hard-fought battle with cancer. Plenty more still to come on Sydney 7 News. Next, how banks and lenders are short-changing mortgage holders on their offset savings.
Also, DNA unlocks a huge new clue in the Blue Mountains mystery of the Echo Point Man.
War talks in the White House. Are Trump and Netanyahu friends again?
A painful new side effect from weight loss drugs affecting the skin.
The incredible near miss following a freak highway mishap.
And ahead in Sport Live from Glasgow, what Benji Marshall had to say about claims of a Tigers vaping problem.
Welcome back. Australia's corporate watchdog has dropped a banking bombshell, revealing a major blunder that's cost borrowers millions of dollars.
3 of the big 4 banks are caught up in the scandal that's linked to offset accounts.
Unsuspecting homebuyers ripped off in major and widespread banking blunders.
We've seen examples, really significant individual instances.
ASIC scrutinising 8 lenders, including 3 of the Big Four, finding thousands of offset accounts weren't linked as promised to customers' home loans. Around 1.5 million borrowers have an offset. Promoted heavily, the popular products cost more but can shave years off the life of a loan.
I never saw any interest credits applied. I actually don't know in any real terms what the benefit was.
Hard-working homebuyers stashing a record $349 billion in offset accounts, banks paying over $55 million in compensation to affected customers.
We are very much sending a message to the sector. You need to review this and you need to make sure that customers are appropriately recompensed.
The report finding banks are slow to fix issues which are mainly caused by their own staff. CommBank bluntly rejecting one claim because a bank error was not identified and the complaint is now closed.
And ASIC is urging anyone with an offset account to make sure it's been hooked up. And you can do that via your banking app or by phoning the bank directly.
What I do now is just have all of the funds, the savings funds, sitting on the mortgage.
Jackie Quist, 7 News.
Police are a step closer to solving a mystery death in the Blue Mountains. They've been trying to identify the so-called Echo Point man whose body was discovered in June 2004. Thanks to advanced DNA analysis, they now believe the man had Latvian ancestry and was more than 60 years old. Detectives are pleading with anyone who recognises him from this 3D facial reconstruction to come forward.
Saudi Arabia has tonight joined the US in striking Iranian-backed militia in Iraq. 20 people are reported to have been killed. It follows Iran's latest surprise attack on US forces. Multiple ballistic missiles were intercepted, shattering a brief pause in the fighting.
The flare-up comes as Donald Trump met with the leaders of Israel and Ukraine who travelled to Washington for the funeral of Senator Lindsey Graham, one of their staunchest allies in Congress.
At Washington's National Cathedral, a solemn service to remember Lindsey Graham, the Republican senator, one of Donald Trump's fiercest allies.
He was a man who gave America the full measure of his good and mighty heart until that heart itself just gave out.
The funeral bringing the leaders of his two great causes, Israel and Ukraine, together. Volodymyr Zelensky and Benjamin Netanyahu in the Oval Office for back-to-back meetings with the president. Zelensky looking for help to end the war with Russia. Netanyahu hoping to persuade the president to restart the fight against Iran. With reports he'd come armed with intelligence. Tehran is secretly trying to rebuild its nuclear program deep inside a mountain.
Well, I don't need Bibi to tell me that. Bibi's telling me that because he wants me to stay involved.
The Prime Minister seemed to get the message. Israeli officials saying it wasn't raised. Netanyahu describing the meeting as one of the best conversations he's had with the president. Their first since Trump called him crazy in a tense phone call last month. A relationship seemingly back on track as the war Trump predicted would last 6 weeks enters its 6th month. In the United States, Rob Scott, 7 News.
Now, have a look at this. A driver has somehow escaped being impaled in this highway mishap in eastern China. An overhyped truck ploughed into metal bars, one of them slingshotting into a passing car, missing the driver by centimetres. Incredibly, there were no reports of injuries.
There's a fresh warning for those taking weight loss drugs like Ozempic, Wegovy and Mounjaro. Dozens are experiencing a new side effect, a sunburn-like feeling on their skin. They've reported intense tingling, sensitivity to touch and pain that makes it difficult to wear clothes, even drive a car. Anyone with these symptoms should contact their GP.
Artificial intelligence is popping up everywhere, even in our doctor's appointments. What patients should know next.
24 hours non-stop. Qantas sets a new record for the world's longest flight.
Plans for a permanent memorial to our modern-day diggers in the Domain.
And in Sport Live from Glasgow, the Wanderers go toe-to-toe with a Premier League giant in a high-scoring thriller.
Hello. Back in early 2023, a standard stamp would cost you $1.10. From September, it'll hit $1.85 after the ACCC approved another 15-cent increase. Australia Post says Aussies only buy 5 stamps a year on average, so the latest hike means an extra 75 cents across the year. Tough times for our winemakers, with exports slumping to a 22-year low. Sales to China down 15%, the US down 27%. And it's not just our vineyards feeling it. Wine consumption globally has dropped more than 13% in the last decade. The market bounced before today's inflation numbers came through and mostly held those gains as the threat of an August rate rise all but evaporated, according to the big 4 banks at least. As you'd expect, consumer-focused stocks pushed the ASX higher. Rio Tinto posted an impressive 43% lift in half-year earnings. The Aussie dollar buying 69 US cents.
A Qantas plane has achieved a world first, flying more than 24 hours non-stop. The Airbus A350 flew from France to Australia last week in a test run for future long-haul flights. On its way back, pilots set out to break a record. The plane touched down in Toulouse 24 hours and 24 minutes after leaving Melbourne. Qantas is preparing to roll out the world's longest commercial flights, including a direct service from Sydney to London next year.
There are fresh concerns about artificial intelligence listening in on doctors' appointments, with warnings that patient privacy is not being protected.
But doctors say the technology is already improving care and isn't replacing clinical judgment.
Artificial intelligence is becoming a doctor's newest assistant, listening to consultations, then with the click of a button, writing detailed medical notes in seconds, allowing physicians to spend more time with patients and less on paperwork.
The opportunity to be much more present, be much more thoughtful.
But a new report warns the technology is moving too fast. More than half of GPs now use it.
There are questions around patients' rights to their data and their privacy while they're discussing, the most private information we have.
It raises concerns about accuracy and found one patient was refused an appointment after declining AI.
This is not acceptable. We should not have to trade off our healthcare for the privacy of our health information.
The Australian Medical Association says while doctors aren't writing anymore, they still have the final say.
The author of any medical note is the doctor. We always have to check and make sure that what goes into the record is correct.
Critics aren't calling the AI scribes to be banned, but want stronger regulation and clearer protections for patients without being denied medical care.
Doctors agree more rules are needed to protect patient trust. Jennifer Beshwati, 7 News.
Work has started on a new memorial in Sydney to honour recent veterans and their families. It's being built alongside the art gallery in the Domain. The circular design is said to symbolise gathering and protection. The memorial will recognise the service and sacrifice of ADF members from 1990 onwards.
Grief is often described as something that's individual, but remembrance is something that is shared.
Work is expected to be finished by the end of the year.
From luxury yachts to everyday tinnies, Sydney's boat show is back with more toys than ever before. Your first look still to come.
And a magical moment for a new humpback mum. The arrival incredibly caught on camera. Don't miss those stories soon on 7 News.
But first, Mel's back with sport live from Glasgow. And Mel, our gymnast, made it another dazzling day at the Games.
Hello again, guys. Yeah, you're right, Fergo. The gold rush continues with a drought-breaking triumph on day 5. All the details up next. Plus, clearing the air, Adam Dewey's promise to his Tigers teammates after sitting out their Canberra thumping. And like father, like son, Cruz Hewitt's nod to Dad Leighton after a milestone win. Welcome back to Glasgow. More from the Commonwealth Games soon. But first to rugby league, and West Tigers halfback Adam Dewey admits he lost his head and should have played against the Raiders. Love, lies, player agents, even vaping were raised by Dewey and coach Benji Marshall, who fronted the media in a bid to patch up their falling out.
At war only last week, now feel the love.
Because I really love Adam. We both love the club so much, and we both want the club to succeed.
We both love the club. We both want the club to go in the right direction, and
conflict happens.
That conflict climaxed when the Tigers were thrashed by Canberra. Axed beforehand as halfback, Dewey refused to play.
Looking back on it, I should have played. It hurt watching the boys on the weekend. It really did. Yeah, I got into a headspace where I lost my head a bit. Benj knows I play front row for him. I never put myself above the team.
Dewey also believes club standards have slipped.
There's probably a few things we might have walked past recently that we need to address. I'm not here to sook or throw the dummy out of the cot.
As for claims players vape in the club gym,
I can tell you now that no one's vaped in the gym. That's actually fabricated or misinformation.
Also, media reports Marshall failed to contact Dewey when cleared to play against Canberra by the judiciary.
I had 2 sick kids who were almost in hospital last week. And it's a lie, I did contact them after, actually.
Dewey's player agent, Isaac Moses. He also manages Lockie Galvin, who defected from the Tigers to the Bulldogs.
Thinking we've got this big master plan behind this. That's not his intention at all.
Back at halfback for Sunday's clash against Parramatta at CommBank Stadium, Dewey's adamant he'll remain a Tiger for well beyond this season.
I'm here for the next 3 years. I've never walked away from a contract in my life.
Andrew McKinlay, 7 News.
The Eels are worried the talk around Tiger Town will only make them a more threatening opponent come Sunday afternoon.
We know they're going to come out firing. It's what you do when everything's against you. So it's probably going to be that backs against the wall mentality for them. So we know we're going to be in for it.
Junior Paolo returns from a knee injury that's kept the enforcer sidelined since round 11. The Sharks host South Sydney this Sunday. No Shark loves flying under the radar more than Sifa Talakai. The Tongan International clocks up game 150, determined to go one game better this season and make the grand final.
I let it drive me because I feel like we've got more to give, but then when we look in the mirror, we're our own biggest enemy. So.
The Dragons' recruitment drive continues, signing Dolphin Cody Nikorima on a 2-year deal from next season. The Swans believe Errol Goulden is hitting his best form at the perfect time ahead of Saturday's clash against St Kilda. Now fit and firing 5 games back from shoulder surgery, the gun midfielder will be crucial to Sydney's premiership push.
Just his work rate, the fitness he was able to get in rehab has really helped him get from contest to contest, and there's no surprise he played the way he did. He's put a mountain of work in it.
Irish giant Callum Brown joined AFLW stars Eilish O'Dowd and Grace Cos ahead of their historic Australia versus Ireland match on Saturday. Well, here in Glasgow, Australia's gymnasts have starred on day 5 at the Commonwealth Games. Jessie Moore claimed gold to break one of Australia's longest droughts in the sport.
From Birmingham heartbreak to Glasgow glory. Jessie Moore, Australia's first parallel bars champion in 16 years.
You know, it's a dream to finally do that, especially on the back of last games, with an injury. Bit of redemption.
As for how he's celebrating,
a couple of beers.
Brianna Scott upgrading yesterday's silver for individual gold in the balance beam final. Australia finishing with 9 medals in the arena, including 4 gold.
It's pretty overwhelming, to be honest. I'm just so excited.
Lara Roberts took out bronze in the hammer throw, and it was no surprise how the Diamonds went in the netball, defeating opponents Malawi by 32 goals.
Really proud we could get out there, everyone get out there again and do a really good job and set ourselves up for what's to come for the back end of the week.
The Diamonds are one of 3 teams who remain undefeated in the netball for this year's Commonwealth Games. One of the others is South Africa, who they have in their sights tonight. And Australia's boxing stars live to fight another day. Jacob Casa and Jai Dixon through to the semi-finals. Kate Massey, 7 News.
The Wanderers impressed new Chelsea manager Xabi Alonso after his Premier League Giants were given a scare at Accor Stadium last night. Western Sydney led 4-3 before Blues superstar João Pedro turned the game on its head, the Brazilian scoring a hat-trick inside 10 minutes to seal a 6-4 win for Chelsea. Tonight, Sydney FC host Tottenham Hotspur at Allianz Stadium. What about this? Cruz Hewitt's promising tennis career continues to blossom at the DC Open in Washington. Hewitt claimed his first win on the ATP Tour. The 17-year-old crushing American Marcos Giron in straight sets before replicating legendary father Leighton's signature celebration. Cruz could face fellow Aussie Alex de Minaur in the next round. Guys, another word from here at the track. As I said, everyone's so excited. It was a spectacular night for us, morning for you. Our Aussie athletics team is absolutely world class. It's been awesome.
Yeah, let's do it all again. Mel, thank you. Sydney's love of boating is showing no sign of cooling off, with new technology now delivering more fun on the water.
Tonight we have your first look at some of the luxury vessels and latest gadgets designed to tempt you at this year's boat show.
Boats by the boatload, horsepower, paddle power. For the first time, all under one roof at Sydney Showground.
Certainly a booming, growing area, and there's people here that want to go boating.
A new out-of-water perspective.
The perfect boat for Sydney Harbour.
Of the Riviera 4300 Sports Express.
And look at the amount of space we have. Lounges, sitting area.
Downstairs,
we have an island bed forward for the master cabin. Barbecue, electric barbecue. A must for our boat on the water.
Right.
We can take someone who knows nothing about boats and teach them to drive this boat very quickly.
Yours for $1.7 million.
But if you're not looking to splash out quite that much, the boat show has something for every budget.
The Stabbycraft Frontier, popular for entry-level fishermen.
Nice little open boat, sells for around the $50,000 to $60,000 mark, lets you get out and get amongst it.
With tips to tackle the fishing.
You're seeing the lures in action, the retrieve, it's that knowledge. Here we go, I've got a barramundi.
The Aero drone can carry the bait and your hook as far as you have line, even a kilometre.
You can scout the reefs, you can scout the coral, you can scout the drop-offs and drop exactly where the fish live.
So do the fish stand a chance anymore?
Not anymore.
Not quite sure what they'll make of this. The Jet Shark does 70 k's an hour. The show opens tomorrow. Paul Kadak, 7 News.
There you go, mate.
It's a wildlife spectacle rarely seen by humans, and now for the first time it's been captured by drone. This is the moment a humpback whale gave birth yesterday just off the state's north coast. It was filmed almost by accident. A drone operator for Orca noticed the whale acting strangely but had no idea what he was about to witness. He continued to record the incredible moments that followed. The calf rising up to the surface for its first breath and then snuggling up to its mum. Nature at its very best.
Yeah, wonderful. Now Angie's back with the forecast. Angie, a chilly one tomorrow.
It is going to be a very cold start, Mark. Some suburbs will even wake to a morning frost. All those details next.
Tomorrow on Sunrise, the man who could be Bond, 007 frontrunner Callum Turner is dropping in.
Plus, secrets from the set of The Voice. Ronan Keating is spilling all about the new season live. We'll see you in the morning, Sydney.
On 7 News tomorrow, 1 in 44 children has autism. Many go undetected for years. Now a breakthrough app in Australia can screen for it in minutes. The exclusive report on 7 News tomorrow.
Good evening. It is going to be a very cool start to the day tomorrow, well down on today's low of 12 degrees. We ended up with a top of 19, which looks fairly manageable, but it felt closer to about 10 degrees at the time. Those cold southwesterly winds are still filtering across Sydney. 18 or 19 was about the warmest of it on the coast. A few centres made it to 20, including Richmond, Penrith and Parramatta. But taking wind chill into account, you could shave 5 to 10 degrees off those readings. A cold front crossing the nation's south has brought the gusty winds and icy temperatures today. All of that speckled cloud over the satellite image shows the passage of that system. The heaviest band of moisture within that change, though, has been and gone, so we're not expecting much more snow or even showers tomorrow. Now, a spell of clear, chilly weather will set in for a few days. To the capitals for tomorrow, Brisbane, sunshine and a top of 23. Canberra, a morning frost with a low of -3, warming to 12. Showers through Hobart, Melbourne and Adelaide, settled for Perth and for Darwin. For New South Wales tomorrow, dry and mostly sunny for most spots. It will be a cold morning with widespread frost on and west of the ranges, patchy morning fog too, and daytime temperatures to follow will also be below average. A top of 9 at Crookwell, 13 degrees on the way for Bathurst and 17 for Newcastle. Sydney tomorrow, lots of sunshine, but with those clear skies will come rapid cooling overnight. So Katoomba to dip to 0, 1 at Richmond, 3 at Penrith, single-digit lows along the coast as well. Tops mostly staying in the mid-teens with icy southerly winds. On Sydney waters, southwesterly winds to 20 knots at first, turning southerly 10 to 15 knots by evening. The strongest winds only impacting this southern stretch of coastline tomorrow, warnings covering the Illawarra right down to the border. For the city centre tomorrow, it's going to be a chilly low of 7 degrees to start the day, a top of 17 with those southerly winds making it feel much cooler than that all looks. To the week ahead, some light showers, mostly coastal, and they will move through on Friday and Saturday. But that cold spell ending on Sunday with tops back up into the 20s. Monday also looking quite warm, and then we'll roll into Tuesday with some sunshine and tops in the 20s. So not cooling down until about Wednesday. Tomorrow looking very, very chilly, Mark and Ange.
Need to be brave first thing.
We can do it.
Thanks, Angie. That is 7 News for this Wednesday. We'll have updates for you throughout the evening.
From all of the 7 News team, thank you so much for your company. Have a great night.
Good night.